bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-da-dum, bum, 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 button down, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-button down. Dun 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 bum ba dun ba dun 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 ba dun 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 dun. Hello, hello, my friends. Hello, my mighties. Hello, my Facebook Live friends. It is so wonderful to see you all. Let me open this up so that I can see. Here we go. Now we are banking on all cylinders, so they say. Oh my goodness, the outpouring of messages in the form of condolences to my family and me has been unbelievable. For those of you who don't know, my little Buster died a week ago today. And he's not my little Buster. He was our little Buster. It was my whole family's, my husband, my sons. We all loved little fluffy Buster. And I want to talk about kind of a little bit about that today. But before we do so, let me tell you that for those of you who don't know me, my name is Joette Calabrese, and every Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, this is what we do. We learn homeopathy, and I will teach you what I know, what I've experienced personally, and what I've seen in my clients over the last 30 some years, and my students. So yes, rest in peace, Buster. And for those who do know me and have been longtime friends, I see the same people over and over. It's so lovely to see you all. Thank you. I can't thank you enough for joining me tonight. The outpouring has been so touching between the blog and Facebook. It's close to 1,000 comments over the last, up till about tonight is what we figure. On the blog, it's been, I think, 200. On Facebook Live, there have been, I think, 800 something, 810, I think Perry just told me. It's been amazing, and it has touched me. I cannot tell you what it has done for both of us. Sometimes we just laugh because of the kinds of things that are said. Sometimes it really does bring tears to our eyes. I thought Buster, he was our poodle. I thought Buster, actually he was part Bichon, but I just called him Poodle because I love the word poodle. Such a great word. We thought he was 17 and a half, and then my son corrected me, said, "No, Mom, I remember when he was born. It was a home birth. Yes, indeed, it was a home birth. We had his mother, and, and we knew that she was the perfect dog. She really was. And so we knew that we couldn't just have this end with when she finally passed away. We wanted her pups. So we bred her, and that's where the Bichon came in. And and then we had 3 puppies. She delivered 3 puppies right there in my office very early in the morning one morning. And yeah, yay for home births. And my son said, "No, Mom, I remember, how old I was. I remember exactly what I was doing that day." And he was 18 and a half. So he lived a really long life, but the last week of his life was extremely trying. He was doing really well for a long, long time, but then it was clear. I actually was thinking about 2 weeks before that time that maybe it was time. But at any rate, I'm fine now. I really am fine. It brings tears to our eyes when people literally, really, my husband and I start to, kind of weep a little bit almost every night when we read this stuff from everyone. But at any rate, when the day of, we had a vet come to our home, and we euthanized him, and it was an extremely hard decision, mostly because it was, because we loved him and we had him all those years. And he was quite the writer, wasn't he? An adventurous little dog, says Dolly. Yeah. um But we had a recent death in the family. My cousin passed away. It was sudden. I was very close to my cousin. It was only a couple months ago. Before that, there was the death of my mother, and before that, the death of my father. Now, look, this is part of life, right? It's part of life. And then, then the what's been going on in the news and everything, and it really hit me. And this has happened before. So if you followed me for a while, what I often end up using. Everyone said, take Ignatia. Ignatia doesn't touch it for me. It's not, for me, it is grief. But with all of these, look, many people have suffered much greater than I have, but I must be mush inside or something, because it really hits me hard when it's really close to home like this. So this is what I did. I'm going to share this with you. I was so low. I felt as though I wanted to check out. You got it. Listen to everybody. Look at you guys. Look at what you know exactly you know me exactly. You know me. Leanne, Susan, Jillian. I swear. Rachna. They all know. You guys know me. You're my friends. I know that sounds crazy. Many of you have never even met, but you're my friends. Anyway, this is what I did. I got out my Robin Murphy repertory. I have other repertories, but I love Robin Murphy's repertory. And I looked in the mind section, and I looked under death, desire. Isn't this ridiculous? Desires death. I desired death. Are you kidding me? He's our dog. I mean, he is someone we love, but he is a dog. It's not like I lost, a child or my husband or something. But that's what I was thinking. I just didn't want to be here anymore. Between all of the things that had happened, it seemed it was just catching up with me. So I looked under, and I know the remedies. I've looked these medicines up time and time again for clients, for students, while I've studied through the years. I knew what the medicine would be. And indeed, the medicine that showed up was, of course, Metallicum. So I don't know. I guess I just needed somebody else to tell me. I needed Robin Murphy, who also just passed away, as well as Dr. Prateep Banerjee. I mean, there have been a number of deaths, excuse me. And before that, Dr. Prasanta Banerjee. So I knew what I needed to do. I knew I just needed to take the medicine. But, sometimes we need another person telling us. And to me, it was like Robin Murphy, who had become a new friend, just said to me, Joette, what the heck? Open up the book. Look at it. What does it say? Desire is death. I wanted to die. Took Aurum Metallicum 200C. Aurum, for those of you who are new and don't know how this works, Aurum, like it's gold, Aurum, Aurum, Metallicum, just the way it sounds, it's a metal. Aurum Metallicum 200C. I took one dose. Shortly after, I took Coffea 200. And I went to bed feeling so low, so low. I knew I should have gone outside, gone to walk on the beach or something, looked at the water, my flowers outside. Should have done something, but no, I couldn't. I wanted to check out. I woke up in the night, and I was in another state. I was better. Now, I always tell you these stories because they're so scathingly brilliant. Not me. The medicines are scathingly brilliant. So I don't want to give you the impression, my friends, that it's always bam and it's done. I don't want you to think that. But there are times when it is like that. And it was one of those times. Leanne writes, giving Aurum is giving a ray of hope back. that the actual remedy is like potentized light, because in their life there's no light or hope. That's what it felt like. I felt hopeless. I felt hopeless. My little dog looked helpless. It was just darkness, was just dark. And then when I woke up in the night after having taken those medicines, only one dose of each, I said, okay, I'm fine. I'm really fine. Wanted to check on my husband. How are you doing? He was fine too. So, bad news. Let's talk about that too. Had the same thought. They are such a part of you every day, of your everyday life. Every time you turn around, there's a memory. You don't know what to do to get past it. Ignatia helped me to get past the sobbing spells, thinking of taking Joette's combo to get over the dark cloud. You bet. Ignatia doesn't help me. Years ago, it helped with this or that, but doesn't help me. I have to tell you, for me, it's Or Metallicum 200. And I will tell you, I've told this story before. Let me just go back to this too. Many years ago, I'm going to say good 20 years ago, I had a friend who I haven't been in touch with. We just lost touch with each other. He was a homeopath from India. He was in my classes in Toronto. We became friends. And my aunt, my godmother, was suddenly, it was clear to me that that I was going to be taking care of her. She didn't have children. It was either me or no one. So it hit me, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to be taking care of my aunt, my godmother, my mother, my father. Everyone was still alive at the time, and at the time my practice was booming, and my clients, and my husband and my children, and the responsibility and the feeling of being overwhelmed by all this responsibility really hit me hard. So I called my friend. His name was Bob. Yeah, I know it's an American name. He took on an American name. His name was Balwig. And I called my friend Balwig, and I said, I'm lost. I think I need some help here. And you know what he said to me? Oh, for crying out loud, Joette. For crying out loud. It's Orem. And the way he said it was, you should know better. You're a homeopath. But I didn't know better because it was me. Now this time I knew what it was, because how many times can you have an experience and that you feel as though you're in despair, feeling overwhelmed, and it's Orem every time. And now I've added Kafia as a result of the knowledge that's been passed on to me by Dr. Prateep and Dr. Prasanta Banerjee. So this is what I want to talk to you about tonight. I want to talk about bad news, because it's a fine line. Despair, ailments from bad news. And there was a lot of bad news this past week, if you're following the feeds. And I've decided I'm going to stop for a while. I have to stop. This is not good for me. Not good for any of us. But I thought I'd look this up, as we all know, in, again, Robin Murphy's repertory, with all my little tabs. You see all my tabs from all my notes. And I looked up, of course, in the mind section, under bad news. I'm going to use my magnifying glass. Bad news, ailments from. And that's what's happening in the world. We're getting bad news, bad news, bad news. 85, what do they say? 85,000 new IRS agents are going to be hired, and they're going to be armed. What? So we need to keep ourselves sturdy. We need to keep ourselves intact. We need it for ourselves. We need it for our families. We need it for our students, our clients, the world around us. They are depending on us. And it's our medicine that's going to do this, my friends. So when I look under ailments from bad news, guess what's in there? Or metallicum, calcarea carbonica. I'm going to read the most important ones. They italicized in bold. Apis arnica, bryonia, calc is bold, calcphos, carcinosin, bold, causticum, chamomilla, gelsemium, bold. Gelsemium is very important for ailments from bad news. Ignatia, bold. Lycopodium, listen. Natmur, Natrum muriaticum, bold. Nitric acid, Nux vomica, silica, Staphylos aureus, sulfur, and that's it. Those are the bold and italicized ones. Palladium, I'm sorry, I missed palladium. Now, gelsemium is often the remedy for ailments from bad news. Carcinosin, very important. But there's that orum. And that's one of the ones we want to think about. Now, people are saying, I just retired from the IRS after 33 years. It's very bad there, says Carmen. Yeah. Yeah. What the heck? What the heck? Okay. So, the title of the book is Repertory, Homeopathic Clinical Repertory by Robin Murphy. Okay. All right. None of the bad news is shocking to the Lord. He is at the helm. Yes, thank you very much, Colleen. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And this is an important book, but there are other books that are also important. The Bible's pretty darn important too, wouldn't you say? The Beatitudes, the Psalms, no doubt, my friends. All right. Too new to homeopathy to follow the remedies talking about need someone to spell them out. Okay. Well, orm is just the way it's just a Latin word for orm. These remedies are Latin, my friends. You just look, it's gold. Look up the word for the Latin word for gold. The Latin word for coffee. Aurum metallicum is gold. Coffea is coffee. And that's okay. You'll catch on to this. You'll be able to watch this time and again. All righty. We can't seem to get on to Mighty members. We're Mighties, but the site is very slow in loading. Maybe just our bandwidth. I don't know how. Mighties, how are you doing? Yeah, how are you doing? Are you okay? Are you getting on all right? Okay, yes, refresh your screen. That's a good idea. Refresh your screen. Now someone is asking about gelsemium. Gelsemium. We can't seem to get onto the. Okay, here we got that. All right. Gelsemium. Gelsemium. Thank you, Paula. Hello from Missouri. Woof woof. You guys are great. I swear. All right. Yeah, it does feel like we're family. We're a part of the human family. And we're part of the human family that gets this and how important it is to stick together and help each other with this. Okay, reception is fine. For me, say the Mighties took 10 minutes to get on via Mighty. It took me 10 minutes to join tonight. Your site was slow. I swear. 10 minutes here too. So that must be something going on. No problems here, says Linda. Good. Hello from Germany. What is this about? You bet. So sorry for your losses. Thank you. Your grief is very valid. Dogs are a part of the family. They hold a very special place in our hearts. Praying for you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, tonight, I made dinner and we sat down, and normally right after dinner, I get up and I feed Buster. And then not too long after feeding him, I give him his remedies. And I said, I don't feed him. Oh yeah, I don't get the remedies. That's where I am now. I'm not overwhelmed. It's only been a week. It feels, it's fine. It's really fine. We're fine. He's fine. He was suffering at the end. It was not good for him to be living any longer than he was. I've had 3 years of trauma and grief in fast succession. Terrible traumas, Ignatia, Coffee, or Metallica have literally saved me. And chiropractic. My friends, make sure you have a chiropractor in your circle as part of your team. A good chiropractor. It's got to be a good one. And there are some good doctors out there too. They do exist. I know it's hard to believe, but they really do exist. There are some really good doctors. Yeah, if you're watching on both platforms, it might be why it's so slow for you, friends. Harry, Hi, Joette. Hi, Perry. Hi, Harry. Yeah, Harry delivered that news about the siege. Was a siege, and that's not the word we're using, is it? The raid from last week. I don't know what to believe anymore. I just don't know what to believe. So I think what we have to believe is we know this medicine is good. We know that it has helped people. We know it's helped our dogs, our cats, our goats, our chickens, our bees. I've treated llamas. I treated our bees. We used to have bees. We used to keep bees. Our ducks, our chickens. We had goats. I treated them. I treated horses and cows and calves. And so that is the important aspect of what we're doing here. We have to stay myopic, focused. We have a job to do. We got to take care of each other, take care of our families. We have to learn this medicine. Oh, Deborah, I buried my husband last Monday. After a rapid illness, I'm starting to get angry. Would Staph Sagria be good for this? Friends, give Deborah some help here. Yes, help. I know that people are going to come up with very good ideas here for Deborah. I'm very, very sorry, Deborah, for your loss. Terrible. Learning homeopathy helped give hope and purpose in all of it. Joette, you're a godsend. No, my friends, you are the godsend. Who would be with me on this journey? There was a time, and I've said this before, when I used to talk about homeopathy and no one would listen. I had so few people who would listen to me. Now, the world is caught on because there's suffering. We need to know this stuff. Staphysagra is a good remedy for anger, for suppressed anger, for holding back. And here's the thing. It doesn't mean that we use only one medicine and that's it. We might find that Staphysagra is when the anger comes up. Then when the anger resolves a little bit, it might end up being Orem because of the deep grief. It might be Coffea because there's anxiety associated with it, as well as grief and sleeplessness. You see, we might have to keep moving. We have to pivot with what is being observed. Now, when it's ourselves, it's a little harder. But if you're in a study group, if you're in a gateway study group, that would be a great thing. That's where you learn how to help each other. Yes, my condolences, Deborah. Yes. Yes, I'm so sorry. Prayers to you, Deborah. Let's see what else everyone is saying here. So, if you get bad news and it causes depression, you're going to go to Orem. If it's simply ailments from bad news, it could be gelsemium. However, when my cousin passed away, it felt shocking. What? He went in like 3 days, not even 2 days. It was shocking. He was only a couple years older than I am. I was pretty close to him. Many people were close to this cousin. He was one special person. That's all I can say. And so for me, it was aconitum. I needed aconitum because it was so shocking. All right. All right. Let's see what else. Any other questions we've got here? I'd love to answer your questions. Couldn't get on Mighties. People are not being able to get on Mighties. I don't know what that means. Can someone please write the name of the book? I've lost it already. Yes, or Metallicum 200 and Coffea 200, not simultaneously, as often as you need. As I tell this story, I only needed 1 dose of each. Oh, maybe 3 days later, maybe by Wednesday, I needed another dose of Coffea, but that was it. No, maybe both of them. I think I used both of them by Wednesday. I knew by what I felt. That's how I knew what to do. No, it's not the Materia Medica of Robin Murphy, although that's a good book too. But the repertory is what I'm referring to tonight. Here, I'll hold it up so that you can see it. Robin Murphy, wonderful Robin Murphy. Passed away prematurely as well. All right. Let's see. So many folks here. This bold, I don't know if can you see it all right? Homeopathic clinical repertory. This is the 3rd edition. I teach in my academy with the 4th edition, but I just happen to have the 3rd sitting right here. And I actually have gotten quite used to using the 3rd because I used it for so long. Then the 4th edition came out, and I use that too. I did use Ignatia when my father died. It didn't help. It only lasted about half a day. It didn't help enough. It wasn't until I went to Orem and Coffea that really helped me when my father passed away. If you're already taking Ignatia and Coffea, would you add Orem to help for an acute? That's a lot of remedies for one condition. If the condition is grief, if the condition is deep anxiety, choose one, maybe two. I don't think I would use Ignatia, Coffea, and Orem. I think it's just a little, you want to always try to be as tight as you possibly can. All righty. Yeah, I wrote about Buster's passing and what I used just before. And I'm going to tell you that I used it more often than every 6 hours. I used arsenicum when he was shaking, and I wasn't sure if it was anxiety or pain or both. I wrote that I used it every 6 hours, but then when I recalled it later, it was really much more often than that, especially the night before and that day. Alrighty, let's see what else we've got here from my friends here. More questions. I love being able to answer. If I were to use gelsemium from bad news, I would use it in a 30, and I would use it twice daily. You see but you could use a 200. It's not bad if you use the 200. You can use the 200. What about aconitum? Yeah, aconitum is great for shock. Yes, please remember to like, comment, and especially share this video. You bet. Now, does it mean that these other medicines are of no value? Absolutely not. It's just that many of these medicines have a more wide application than others. So if I look back at this, and I look at ailments from the page flipped over. And if I look at some of these other remedies, such as carcinosin, yeah, could be a good one. But it better fit the person a little bit more tightly. I like to be able to use medicines such as aconitum, ignatia, Orem, Coffea, gelsemium. I like those kind of bread and butter remedies. I don't know if you know what I mean. For those of you who are new to homeopathy, I find that the medicines that are most written about have more depth to them in the Materia Medicas. More articles are written about them. That's not the criteria, but it does seem to be they kind of come to the fore. And after working at the Prasanta Banerjee Homeopathic Research Foundation for those 8 years that I returned back and forth, I learned something important. If you have not learned this through me, then let me give this to you. There are certain medicines that touch a very large percentage of the population across the board. A classical person, a person who uses only classical homeopathy, might say, well, you can't just willy-nilly use Orem metallicum without taking the whole case and finding out if it fits. Yeah, you can. If it's 80 to 85% of the time that Orem metallicum is going to work for great despair and ailments or desire to not live any longer, desiring death, It's going to be the right remedy in 80 to 85% of cases. What have you got to lose? A possible 15%? And so if you choose incorrectly, you move on. Now, again, I'm going to say it's important that you work with each other. If you're not a part of a study group, join our Gateway to Homeopathy. I cannot encourage it enough. Many of the folks who are here tonight on my Mighties, Joette's Mighty members, are people who have been doing this long enough that they figured that out. We need each other, and we need to help each other. All righty. Yeah. Julie, listen to this, my friends. It is 8:30 Eastern time, but I want you to listen to this. What do you recommend? Now, I'm not going to make a recommendation. I don't do that. So, what do you recommend for a 13-year-old girl who just lost her mother after losing her father a few years ago? She's not sleeping. The remedies I've just talked about, or metallicum and coffea. This is what you do, Julie. You go to a Materia Medica, whether you get it online or you own it. You look up the medicine or metallicum and see what it covers. Look up coffea and see what it covers. And that's where you'll get your answer. However, look at this. All my mighties are coming in, although you're not getting it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. You're getting your answers. I can't offer information on your particular case. Probably aconitum for the first shock, then coffea, says Rebecca. Aurum, says Rebecca. Shock. Now listen, when I finish now and I hang up and I close this off, I don't hang up, my gosh. I'm unapologetically old-fashioned. When I leave Facebook Live tonight, this will still be up. You'll be able to read it. You'll be able to watch it again. Do that, my friend. Anyone who has questions, not sure about how to spell the words, not sure what book we're talking about, etc., do that. Harry from PA. Hi, Joette. I like aconite first, then aurum and coffea. Pamela says coffea for the sleep aspect, as well as grief. As well as grief, absolutely. Alrighty, my friends. It's so good to see you all. Keep the faith. Remember your faith. I mean, your real faith. I'm not just saying that as a flippantly. I mean, keep your faith, whatever it is, whatever your religion is. Stay with it. We need it. We need our faith. We need our community in our churches and synagogues. So wonderful to see you all. God bless you all. I'll see you next Monday at this time. Bye.